Morning everyone, this is a bit of a different video today, focusing on the pandemic that's going around the country and around the world as Callum Hudson-Odoi tested positive for corona and the men's training facility has been shut down with players self-isolating. Let's get into this. Chelsea released a statement last night during the course of the evening to confirm that Callum Hudson-Odoi has tested positive. The statement read, Chelsea men's team player Callum Hudson-Odoi had a positive test result for coronavirus returned this evening. Chelsea's personnel had recent contact with the player in the men's team building, will now self-isolate in line with government health guidelines. This will include initially the full men's team squad, coaching staff and a number of the backroom staff. It's expected that those who did not have close contact with Callum will return to work in the coming days. In the meantime, the men's team building, one of several separate buildings at our training ground, will remain closed. The rest of our training facility, Stamford Bridge and other facilities are operating as normal. Big news, and it puts the game against Aston Villa tomorrow night in doubt and in jeopardy as more and more of these cases are becoming apparent and being revealed. We wish Callum Hudson-Odoi a speedy recovery and that he can self-isolate and come back in 7 days with everything being clear. Yesterday afternoon, where news broke that Mikel Arteta was the first big name in football in this country being tested positive, the Arsenal manager. This is obviously confirmed with Arteta and Callum Hudson-Odoi on Sky Sports News. The Arsenal game with Brighton's been postponed because of that situation. And as I said, I fully expect the Chelsea game against Villa to be cancelled. Also, yesterday afternoon, Brendan Rodgers has confirmed coronavirus symptoms in the Leicester squad, which will spark Chelsea FA Cup concern. 3 of his players have demonstrated symptoms of the illness and the players have been put into isolation. Obviously, our game is due to be played next weekend and we wonder what the situation is going to be as this situation just gets worse and worse. So to Boris Johnson yesterday, who made his speech with health officials also explaining the situation. Those with any symptoms have been told to self-isolate for 7 days, which is why you're going to get these games cancelled. Rugby, F1, football games have already been cancelled this weekend and expect a whole lot more to be done and announced today. There's due to be an emergency meeting with the Premier League today to take place, and I fully expect the whole Premier League schedule to be postponed this weekend as coronavirus hits the UK. So to the Daily Mail, and the coronavirus has been branded the worst health crisis in a generation. Boris Johnson's public address yesterday has said that many loved ones will die and tells people to stay home if they've got a cough. But the problem was that he still refuses to ban mass gatherings or to shut schools, which has prompted a big reaction from Cesc Fabregas on Twitter. Cesc Fabregas tweeted this: so you're saying admitting the disease will spread so much over the next weeks and months, but you're not closing schools just yet. You will have to close them eventually anyway. Why not do it now and avoid more trouble? And of course, that's the situation with football games. In Scotland, they've announced that any gatherings of 500 people or more will be postponed. There are some people that say that in football grounds, being in the open air is not a risk and the game should be able to go ahead. But with this spreading like wildfire, imagine going to a football game on a Saturday or a Sunday, coming home and 2 days later you've got a virus because of particles that are in the air, passed on by people that are infected that don't know that they are. It's a dangerous situation, which is why I personally believe Chelsea's game will definitely be postponed tomorrow and possibly next weekend against Leicester, with the Bayern Munich game due to be played behind closed doors. But now Callum Hudson-Odoi has tested positive for corona. It's going to be postponed. Expect Chelsea not to be playing for the next few games, few weeks maybe, and the Premier League. This is a global nightmare and it's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse particularly in the UK. So if you start to feel unwell, if you've got a high temperature, a dry cough, self-isolate. Go home and isolate for 7 days. There's going to be more and more people revealing that they've got the coronavirus and symptoms of the coronavirus in the public eye, and especially Premier League footballers and people around the footballers. This is spreading like wildfire and is a major problem. It's all we can talk about today, really. So this is a different version of the 5-minute news, but it's vitally important. Stay tuned for updates from the Premier League on social media and from Chelsea in regards to the game tomorrow against Aston Villa. I can't see it happening myself. So, if you've already made travel arrangements, I will try and get a refund already. But this is a global nightmare, and it's a nightmare that's going to get worse and worse in the UK, as Boris Johnson has already warned us. What we can say is self-isolate, look after yourselves, and Callum Hudson-Odoi, we wish you all the best, mate, and that you're back in about a week's time, hopefully clear of this nightmare. That's it from me, Friday the 13th, believe it or not. This has been the Chels Daft 5-minute Chelsea news with a difference, focusing on the coronavirus. Let me know what you think about anything discussed in the video. While you're there, do me a favour, smash the hell out of the like button for me if you like the video. Then subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much for your support and for watching. Have a good Friday, stay safe, see you next time.